In the beginning, there was, in the beginning, what brought this all to life was, as a child living up in New York, my mom had a friend of hers who had a very wealthy boyfriend, became her husband, and he had, in his basement, he had it filled with arcade games. Now, this was the mid-'70s, so they were the older mechanical ones, but he had a pool table in there, hockey, ping pong table, all that kind of stuff, and it always resonated in my mind that that's what I wanted for myself. Again, this whole company, we're 28 years doing this, we're 25 employees strong, and we're churning about $3 million a year in annual sales. This is all born from my hobby, just a passing interest of mine, really. I came here in 2005 to liquidate what was my childhood game room, Fun and Games. It was, at that time, one of the remaining 6 original stores from the 1973 opening of the DeSoto Square Mall. I played in that game room as a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid. I saw Star Wars first run in the cinema here in DeSoto Mall, which was the only cinema in town at the time. But they brought me in to liquidate it, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. In 1970, I was first exposed to space travel when we were launching one of the many Apollo missions, which was, again, the Saturn V rocket, the largest and most powerful rocket still yet to this day built by man. And they gathered the whole school, everyone stopped, teachers, principals, everyone, to watch this marvel as it left the ground. And from that time, it was seared in my mind. And it's always the drum that's beating in the background of what I do. Many of the games have a space theme, and certainly my companies, Apollo Amusements and Saturn V, carry very pertinent space names. My house, literally, when I was a collector, before I began selling them, I had them in my living room, in my dining room, of course, in what was dedicated as the game room. My oldest son's bedroom, we flipped the bed up against the wall and filled his bedroom with them. And it was interesting because this was in 1987. I placed an ad in the Bradenton Herald, our local paper, and people were calling from all over the state to buy them. As we record this, we have 5 stores. 2 on the East Coast, in Davie and in Southland Mall in southern Miami. We have 3 West Coast stores, 1 in Bradenton's DeSoto Square Mall. We're also in Clearwater's Countryside Mall and Sarasota Square Mall down in southern Sarasota. The willingness to work longer, harder, smarter, and faster than everybody I've ever met has brought us here today. Love what impact the things I sell and do have on people. When someone my age, and I'm 50 as we record this, walks into one of my stores, their faces light up. Filled, I know, with distant memories of childhood days spent at the game room, the mall, or at the skating rink. One of the things that stimulates me the most about pinball is the mechanical interaction between the player and the machine. In many ways, it becomes an extension of your mind and hands, something a video game could never do. We restore machines that are 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, so what's going on at the time and what they had to work with at the time compared to now, including something as simple as an electronic screwdriver. The millions of little parts and miles, literally, of wires that it takes to bring a machine to life can boggle the mind. And especially so when you take the perspective of restoring one, finding one that's been in someone's garage for a decade untouched. And then you have to go layer by layer to clean it and then restore it back to near new condition. Pinball machines are truly a work of art in my mind, and I know many, many people share that same opinion. Especially having been to several pinball factories, if you see the team, the army really, of artists, and there's no reason to quote and unquote that. You have people that are literally paint and canvas artists. You have designers who in their own right are artists, and of course musicians, because every pinball machine has sound. You bring all those worlds together to make a pinball machine. Here at Apollo Amusements, we want to make the machine as nearly restored, brought back to new condition as possible. And in terms of the playfield, we want it to be as perfect as possible, as seen through the eyes of the pinball. When the pinball is traveling around the playfield, it should do so effortlessly, without needing any interference or resistance from any part of the playfield. It should be well lit so it can see where it's going, and have lots and chutes and ladders to go up and down as it enjoys itself through the ride that is a game of pinball. In watching this video, I don't want you to mistake for a second that pinball machines are all that we do. I love everything that has to do with the game room. Everything that you see for sale in any of our showrooms suits my tastes. Obviously, I don't have enough room in my house to house it all, but everything that we sell is fun. Our number one seller, really, is our multi-cave. It's got 60 classic titles all in one. All your favorites brought to life in one machine. We have pool tables, all the game room furniture you would possibly want. We have pop culture pictures for the walls, neon lights, LED lights, all of the appointments to bring your vision of your home game room to life. My name is John Russo, and I'm the owner and founder of Game Room Superstores. And I look forward to seeing you real soon.